Adwa TV, bringing good things to life.
Hello there, good morning, and thanks for joining us on today's news bulletin. This is the AM News coming to you live from our studios at the John Evans 50 Mills High Street in Accra. We're also streaming live on Facebook at Edward TV Ghana, on YouTube at Edward TV GH, and around the world at edwardnewsonline.com. Just as always, this is the Heritage Month where we become citizens of the nation and not spectators. This is where we wear Ghana, we experience Ghana, and then we properly be a Ghanaian. Thanks for staying with us. My name is Jonathan. I'm now coming up in this bulletin following the bullion van investigations that have gone on as a result of the bullion van. 4 policemen and civilian denied bail. Also on the bullion van attack, Richard Kumado has urged Ghana Police Service to pay attention to character, not qualification. Also in this bulletin, following the 2022 budget approval, Supreme Court has declared the approval of the 2022 budget constitutional. Details to that and more right in the news bulletin. Please do stay. Thanks for staying with us. Remember, this is your hub of comprehensive and complementary news. My name is Jonathan Armah. Not a very first story. The suspect, including the 4 policemen and 1 civilian who were arrested on Tuesday, 8th March 2022, for allegedly participating in bullion van robberies in Greater Accra, have been denied bail by an Accra Circuit Court. The suspects are Constable Afisu Yaro Ibrahim, Constable Richard Buedu, Constable Rabiu Jambedu, Constable Albert Ofosu, and suspect Razak Al Hassan, a civilian.
4 policemen and a civilian were arrested for their involvement in multiple bullion van robberies across Greater Accra in areas like Kingsway in February 2021, Batuna Sphintex in March 2021, Jamestown Adedingbo in June 2021, and the attempted robbery at North Kaneshie in February 2022. According to a statement released by the Ghana Police Service on March 8, 2022, it was noted that further investigations conducted led to the arrest of the 5 suspects. The names of the suspects were given as Constable Afisu Yaro Ibrahim, Constable Richard Buedu, Constable Albert Ofosu, and suspect Razak Al Hassan, a civilian. All the suspects were arraigned before court on Wednesday, 9th March 2022. In explaining what ensued on the operation day leading to the death of the first 2 suspects who were arrested, Director of the Public Affairs Department of the Ghana Police Service, DCOP Kwesi Ofori, said they opened fire on the police and the police also retaliated, and that is why it was believed that some of them might have sustained injuries, and are appealing to medical authorities to provide the police with related information if they come for treatment. The 5 suspects were denied bail as they appeared in court on Wednesday, March 9, 2021.
Well, there you have it. But still on the bullion van robberies, reacting to the involvement of police officers in the multiple bullion van robberies in Greater Accra, which was revealed by the police after its investigation, security consultant Richard Kumado observed it's about time the Inspector General of Police, George Akufo Dampare, and his team should ensure that a thorough cleanup will be done with the service. Speaking to Adwa TV's Nanaya Ado, Mr. Kumado noted that the police service should pay critical attention to characters rather than just medicals and qualification when recruiting.
Not just the training, but the recruitment itself, because that is the fundamental point, and that is the basis of having access into any resource of security management within the Ghana Police Service. As somebody who has done enough background checks for corporate organizations and have sat on recruitment panels to recruit people, I can tell you that recruiting somebody with a negative background has so much repercussions, and it's a disservice to the organization. And the police service is one set of organizations. Recruiting people with negative backgrounds, whose background checks have not been grounded, and whose work have not been properly supervised and monitored to be able to identify red flags of tendencies of committing crime, is one of those things they need to look at. Now, for deny them bail, I don't know what the charges are, but it's within the purview of the Ghana Police Service to do justice to even themselves, even as they deal with the general public in an effort to prevent crime and the commission of such. I can understand the confusion and the euphoria in the general public, but if you have been around police operations before, you can understand. So this is exactly what might have happened. That the two police officers they indicated earlier and the two police officers who are dead per the second statement, this is what might have happened. Which means that when they picked them up as suspects, they were the one who led them to the hideout. And the guys they met at the hideout identified these two police officers and said, oh, our guys are speaking to the hierarchy and we might be in trouble, so let's take them down. So it might be those other guys who took the two down, or the two of them were taken down because dead men don't talk, and it could cover up for some of those operations. So that is exactly what happened when they said the two died, 4 has run away, and the other 4 in their custody. I've always maintained the position that anytime the police kill somebody or police reported that somebody has been dead, whether they're armed robbers or something, there's the need for investigation. Other than that, innocent people could be killed with the cover that they were resisting arrest or they opened fire on the police. And today, it is not just a civilian, but it's one of them. And these are key people who are key witnesses in the ongoing investigations into the robbery of the bullion van and criminal gangs within the police. We will need to tread cautiously, and the police must be as explicit and come clean, even as they manage to, bridge the gap between the credibility lapses they have suffered in the public space. Now, as civilians, we will need to engage the police more openly. The police themselves will need to be more transparent, as they have started by bringing this case into the public space. The police must understand that getting the job done is why they are there. And we must allow Dan Parry and his men to do a little bit of cleanup within the Ghana Police Service. Other than that, they have a huge battle on their hands, and we can only wish them.
We'll give you more as on development on Force and Dusted, but let's just stay on the matter. Meanwhile, a section of Ghanaians have been reacting to the development and sharing their mixed feelings, and this is what they have to say.
Oh, your friend me Davis, Boy Abbey, but your friend me Asa, Obia. Yeah, fine. I said, GD, they say in your room because I be a crone to me, sir, Benina. If you ask him, baby, I will be a Fonso, baby. But police in the SAFR, you're fun according to. Yes, there will be a SAFR police near the protocol, Obi or your for near fun in the police, wouldn't pay me binti near fun police. Ube when you a chance, no man for tip up. Robbie about you now, I can't the police in Nimubia, Onjindi, say police in it, me about in your police in it too. But a woman, once a young year, you should more, who say a bishop, not just a normal baby cost or mine anymore. Or money movie because Crawford on your AK-47 anyway. You enjoy AK-47 one bonte. And so Amunya AK-47 Kototo Debia. Nina police no. There's a man or police in the year. And the IGP so I are there. So no team show me police wire bonnet say appearing there. And no more pet. They say I mean who say or the man here Jumano. A factor police pepper no use no. Who can't the annual best friend will be you and there will be anti. Ya bona baso Oh, ebe konkan. Se afeni ehun abonefo no, nti afeni ebe chuku omo one by one. Ebe yiyi omo film mako. Ti jide de ewo. Once IGP no oye serious no de enso ewo jide a ya data na chi. Ti pa ya ne ebe o ma no so onya nkwa. No onye adwuma mo ma no ma no fa no to ma pemfla.
Their security, they are working perfectly. They are working perfectly because let me use this way. If police go on strike even 1 second, what do you think it will happen to the country? Yes. So they are working perfectly. They are working. The military, the immigration, and all the security agencies, they are working perfectly because without them, you cannot live even 1 minute. They are working. Oh, some of Ghanaians will consider that police, there's no trust in police service again because some of the police are embarrassing the profession, especially the MTTDs. But not that if one of the police unit is embarrassing the profession, not all the police units. Do you get me? Ghanaians will say a lot about what has happened, but we should bear in mind that without them, we cannot live. As I said earlier, I use example, when the police go on strike for 1 minute, the nation will turn into turmoil. So, for me, we can consider it, you media persons, we can consider that the police are not working. But we, the lawyers or the law students, we know that the police are doing well.
To my suggestion, the public should actually have trust in them, because if only one person is untruthful, that cannot hesitate them from not trusting all of them. Some people are genuine. I hope you understand. Some people are really genuine. Then some too have other bad mindsets. Yeah. So to me, in a view of things, the public should still have trust in them, but they should not put all their trust on them. At least they should rate them like 90%. Oh yeah, he has done well to us. So that is on God. We are still trusting them. We are still moving on to see what happened. Yeah, we are still moving on to see what happened. But for now, I cannot detect that it will move on. Yeah, but we are still on the process to see.
So those were some sections of Ghanaians sharing their mixed reactions on the new development. Well, let's still stay on the matter, but in some new developments, the police administration has admitted that they need to review the way it trains recruits after it found out that 6 of its personnel were complicit in recent bullion van robberies in the country. Speaking in an interview, the Director General in charge of Police Public Affairs, DCOP Kwesi Ofori, said they may have to relook and strategize on the training of new recruits to make sure they contain such situations. The National Executive Committee of the University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG, has resolved to suspend the 7-week strike indefinitely. This resolution comes after UTAG's NEC on Monday, February 21, temporarily suspended the strike action to make way for negotiations up to Friday, March 4. The committee, at the emergency meeting at the University of Professional Studies, Accra, APSA, allowed the 15 chapters to vote on its decision.
Though the majority 12-3 rejected the decision by the NEC, it decided to return to the lecture halls from Friday, March 4, as a result of goodwill shown by major actors in the negotiation process. What we can say is that, based upon the pleas of these eminent people, and then also the current situation at hand, we have been able to resolve our differences with the employer at the moment, and also based on assurances of the President of the Republic of the National Labour Conference that he is committed to finding a lasting solution to the problem. National Secretary Dr. Sari Asante stated on the day the deadline elapsed. UTAG returns to teach as impasse resolved. We hope that the current issues with the university teacher issues of service will be addressed. This is where we find ourselves. On Tuesday, March 8, another emergency meeting is set to have been held on the way forward. At the meeting, the NEC of UTAG received reports from the various branches in relation to the branch meetings held on Friday, 4th March 2022. A statement jointly signed by National President Professor Solomon Nudu and Dr. Asante Ano said. In general, the report centered on the dissatisfaction of members on the arrangement put in place to address their demands. In this regard, the NEC of UTAG will endeavor to ensure that all concerns raised by the members are reflected in whatever agreement to be signed between the employer and UTAG. By the statement, UTAG's National Executives Council called for calm and urged the members to accept the proposals as interim measures to ensure that they work. The National Executive Council of UTAG promises to monitor and police the full implementation of all agreements with the employer and to work with clear timelines and roadmaps to ensure that all promises and arrangements are respected. It announced that there will be no longer reactionary measures, but other proactive interventions so that matters do not get to result into industrial actions. After careful assessment of the referenda results, interim agreements reached between UTAG and the employer and the various branch reports, the NEC of UTAG resolved to indefinitely suspend the strike action of 10 January 2022. The committee expressed gratitude to members for patient support and pledge. We wish all well as we demonstrate good faith by returning to the lecture halls to teach and call on the employer to demonstrate same good faith by being committed to all agreements to help maintain industrial harmony.
Well, there you have it, the National Executive Council of the University Teachers Association of Ghana resolving its strike action. But away from that, the Supreme Court has ruled that a Deputy Speaker of Parliament can be counted during the formation of a quorum for parliamentary decision-making and participation in voting while presiding. The court, presided over by Justice Jones Doche, therefore affirmed the approval of the 2022 budget without the minority legal practitioner. Private legal practitioner, beg your pardon, Justice Abdullahi filed the case against the Attorney General. He had asked the Supreme Court to interpret Articles 102 and 104 of the 1992 Constitution and declare the action of Mr. Osei Owusu Joyce as unconstitutional. He also wanted the Supreme Court to declare the whole proceedings in Parliament on November 30, 2021, which led to the passage of the 2022 budget as unconstitutional, insisting the Deputy Speaker should not have counted himself as a member of Parliament when he presided over proceedings. However, in defense on behalf of the state, the Attorney General Godfred Yeboah Dame argued that no express provision in the 1992 Constitution stops a Deputy Speaker presiding over proceedings from voting or counting himself as part of members of Parliament present to form the right quorum. He argued that the quorum in Parliament formed under Article 102 is different from the quorum formed under Article 104 of the 1992 Constitution. He stated that the quorum under Article 102 is for the conduct of business in Parliament, and that is why Article 102 provides that it should be 1/3 of members. Given that Parliament presently is made up of 275 members, the quorum under Article 102 for the conduct of its business is 92 members of Parliament, the Attorney General submitted. According to the Attorney General, based on the clear provision of Article 102, any person presiding, either the Speaker or Deputy Speakers, is precluded from being part of that quorum. Let's just stay a little bit on the matter. Meanwhile, the minority in Parliament has criticized the ruling of the Supreme Court, describing it as an unreasonable decision, noting that it's a judicial support for the passage of the controversial electronic transaction levy. Reactions to the court ruling in Parliament, the minority leader Haruna Idrisu observed that the minority in Parliament would just recognize the First and Deputy Speaker as members of Parliament for Bekwai and for Mina respectively, and not Deputy Speakers in Parliament. The Tamale South lawmaker reiterated that minority stands on the electronic transaction levy, saying the caucus remains opposed to it.
Which provides for the quorum, and Article 104 can exercise a vote whilst presiding. Our attention has been drawn to a very disappointing ruling of the Supreme Court of Ghana, which more or less amounts to a judicial interference in time-tested parliamentary practice and established conventions everywhere in the world, in civilized democracies, including the United Kingdom. The presiding officer's vote is discounted. So it's not for nothing that Article 102 provides that a person presiding shall have no original nor custom vote. The Supreme Court, to put it aptly, this ruling is judicial support for e-levy, nothing more. Judicial support for e-levy for a struggling economy in distress, and judicial support for the restoration of a matter that they have said is constitutional, is repugnant to the provisions of Article 102 and 104. But what can we do? They are clothed with the mandate and authority to interpret the law. This is a travesty. This is a travesty of parliamentary justice and a step in the growth and development of multi-party constitutional democracy built on the spirit and principle of checks and balances. Is it not intriguing for us to hear, whilst we await the full reasoning of the Supreme Court, to hear them that, I'm quoting from one of the justices, that the quorum in Article 102 is not the same thing as a quorum in Article 104. That is the ruling. But we know that for quorum, Article 102 is authoritative on the composition of quorum for Parliament for purpose of conducting business. We cannot see any material difference in the provisions of Article 104. But for their purposes, they have said that interpret 102 differently and separately from Article 104. They ought to know that Article 102, even the side note, marginal note, says quorum of Parliament. The judiciary of Ghana is also failing Ghana's parliamentary democracy in their inability to appreciate the true meaning of Article 110 of the Constitution, that Parliament shall by standing orders regulate its own proceedings. When we regulate our own proceedings, and today reference is only made to the 1992 Constitution and not to the standing orders of the Parliament of Ghana, and in particular, Standing Order 13. Today, as we speak, the Speaker is indisposed. There is a presiding person in the first Deputy Speaker. So, for your purposes, can you imagine what will happen in Parliament? While the first Deputy is presiding, there is no second Deputy Speaker available who will preside to supervise him voting for our purposes. Repugnant and unreasonable decision. He is presiding, so where he is presiding and the second Deputy Speaker for some purposes is not immediately available in the chamber, he will walk down, vote. At that time, there will be no person presiding over the Parliament of Ghana. This is a judicial support for President Nana Addo Dankwa's e-levy that he is laboring to pass. We remain opposed to it, stitch by stitch, clause by clause, article by article. When it is presented, we will fight back strongly with our 137 votes. From today, maybe there will be a new definition of who a first or a second deputy speaker is. Maybe they don't deserve us according them the offices they occupy. Maybe that is what the Supreme Court is ruling. We will just recognize them as MP for Fomina and MP for Bekwai, nothing more.
From our studios at the John Evans 50th Mills High Street in Accra. For more news, do well to log on to our website on adwanewsonline.com. Now, in the world of business, the Bank of Ghana has urged the public to be cautious in their dealings with the new money doubling scheme called Bitcash Currency Exchange. Besides denying granting the scheme approval to operate, the Bank of Ghana said the scheme is fraudulent and works to milk the public of its money. In a statement issued on Tuesday, March 8, 2022, the Bank of Ghana said the scheme additionally compromises the funds, WhatsApp account, and social media accounts of unsuspecting victims when their hyperlinks are clicked.
The Bank of Ghana has urged the public to be cautious in their dealings with a new money doubling scheme called Bitcash Currency Exchange. Besides denying granting the scheme approval to operate, the Bank of Ghana said the scheme is fraudulent and works to milk the public of their money. On Tuesday, March 8, 2022, the Bank of Ghana said the scheme additionally compromises the funds, WhatsApp account and social media account of unsuspecting victims when their hyperlinks are clicked. The Bank of Ghana wishes to bring the attention to the public of a money doubling scheme which operates under the name Bitcash Currency Exchange and claims to have approval from the Bank of Ghana. By this notice, the BOG wishes to inform the general public that it has not licensed such an entity or any other cryptocurrency exchange platform, the statement said. Unsuspecting recipients of such messages who click on the hyperlink or forward such messages compromises the safety of their funds, their WhatsApp accounts and other social media profiles, as well as those of the friends and family on their contact list, the BOG explains. The central bank further urged persons who received suspicious messages from the fraudulent scheme to delay such messages and avoid clicking on their hyperlink or share with others. The BOG called on the public to only do business with financial institutions it has duly licensed and cross-check with the bank to verify if any such suspicious scheme is duly registered.
So that was a caution by the Bank of Ghana to all Ghanaians to be very vigilant of the fraudulent Bitcash exchange stuff going on social media. We're also some more business news. The Association of Ghana Industry says as part of plans to secure its members from falling victims to internet fraud, it has introduced an authentication system. This is on the back of the warning by the Economic and Organized Crime Office, EOCO, especially the business community, to be wary of what AGI described as an emergent force in online businesses. On the back of this, the Association of Ghana Industries is urging its members to be vigilant by doing a lot of background checks before venturing into transactions online.
Trust in the business community dwindling away. And trust in business. If people cannot trust us from abroad and do business with us, then it gets difficult. So for us, we're very concerned that this phenomenon must come to an end. One of the ways that we're doing to make sure we resolve this issue is a project we've launched called Kadodo Africa, where essentially we're profiling and authenticating Ghanaian and African businesses so that we can guarantee their safety on the internet and get a lot of our people to patronize products from them.
Just as advised, let's stay focused, let's stay cautious. On that very note, this is how far would come to you with the AM News right from our studios at the John Evans 50th Mills High Street in Accra. For more news, do well to log on to our website on adwanewsonline.com. Until then, my name is Jonathan Armah. A very happy birthday to my very own dad, my beloved dad, for his 62nd birthday. God bless you, Daddy, and have a wonderful day. Thanks for staying with us. My name is Jonathan Armah. Have a wonderful day.